Sukant Chandan. I think that's how I'm supposed to say your name. I am really proud of you for doing what was absolutely the first thing that needed to be done, which is to get somebody reasonably credible on the ground in Libya to start interviewing people and uploading video from the West. Because people are ignorant, they're busy in their own lives, and they don't understand what's going on. There is a question of objectivity in journalism and restraining one's outrage. Is one going to be an editorialist or is one going to be a scientist? And it's very hard in this situation where people are dying. So I would label this piece the Flat Earth Society. What's happened, as you noted, and as I've been putting it together, is that the countries that the U.S. has attacked since 2000 have all been former Soviet satellites, including, of course, Yugoslavia, Serbia, Afghanistan. Actually, after the Russians pulled out, the Afghan communists held out for more than a year, which surprised everybody. So the U.S. accelerated deployment of weapons. You know this, but the people who are listening won't. Then, of course, Iraq had the best infrastructure and the best educational system vis-a-vis its resources and size, the best educational opportunities for women of any country in the Middle East. It was a socialist country. That's gone now. Then Libya would be the next socialist country. And of course, in the case of Libya, they didn't have a horrible long war with a country like Iran, which really, made things very difficult. They have the Pan Am jet, which is their burden to carry. There's a lot of questions that are still to be answered about, is Libya a repressive police state? Was liberalization occurring? Is it true that the generals who fled are claiming that the younger guys are more hot-headed in the military in Libya and have carried out the rape? There's all these charges going on in Misrata with the cluster bomblets. Can't we trace them, find out if they're NATO or Libyan? Can we get objective evidence before it's tampered with? Because obviously all I'd have to do is mix a few bomblets of the two different types that are described from Spain, and you wouldn't be able to determine it anymore unless you had good forensics. So what's left in the world that represents an alternative to globalized capitalism, which has led to the price of food going up 35% for poor people due to Goldman Sachs manipulating Clinton's worst mistake, which he admitted, which is the Commodities Modernization Act. So we've got the Flat Earth Society, which is we're going to flatten the Earth with a same system worldwide. And the only countries left are Venezuela, Cuba, Libya, Syria, North Korea, that are socialist in nature. And that doesn't mean I like them, but what concerns me is a pattern of wiping out any system left to erase the memory that there is any alternative to what's going on now, where the rich are getting richer, middle class is struggling. So people are struggling. We have no draft. There's no incentive to get interested. But if anything good has come out of this conflict for the United States so far, it has been, if you go and watch the debates yesterday in Congress, it was probably the most rousing debate I've ever seen in my life in our Congress. I was very proud. And so, flat Earth, journalism and objectivity. Now the next question asks is, what are you prepared to do? Which is, what Sean Connery said in The Untouchables. What are you prepared to do, people? So I won't go on about what I've done, but I've worked about 4 hours a day from about 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. because I have kids and I have work, and so that's the time I have. And if I look uglier than hell, it's because I've been sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night, imagining those helicopters coming closer and closer, imagining people digging in without food because food is being used as a weapon. So we have to take it up a notch, but it's first an information war. We have to get the information out there and slowly percolating and getting out. But the fact that the U.S. is able to go anywhere with impunity in the long term, uh, eventually, countries like Brazil, Russia, and China will have parity with the United States and Western Europe, and they will not forget. Uh, I, my people have been here from 1630. I don't wish any harm to my country, but I'm as angry as anybody. Most people think I'm starting to go over the deep end because of this apathy that you're talking about, an attempt to get the word out. And the question is, where is the line in the U.S.? At what point do they get you? Like in the case of Bradley Manning, they stripped him naked in his cell for months. You think the next military guy who wants to leak won't think about that? Or Julian Assange being accused of being a rapist? Maybe, I don't want to comment on that, but these are the kind of things that will start happening to you. One fears, one has fear, especially here with the Patriot Act, where we've lost our liberties. And of course, we had these same problems in the 60s with COINTELPRO. So maybe it's the people remember the 60s that have to get up and do something. And everyone is using everyone in this conflict of the Arab awakening. And it's interesting that you say that Israel is involved, because a friend of mine who knows a lot about that area and is in the U.S. government said something about the Israeli experiment. And so I support what you're doing, and I will try harder. But the concern is that the world is effacing any alternative to globalized capitalism. And the irony here in the US is it's the libertarian Republicans that are leading the charge. And we need to have the black community mobilized because of exactly what you said. Thank you.